For today's math lesson, we are beginning Topic 3, Lesson 8. Solve addition word problems with facts to 20. Our learning intention today is I can solve different types of addition word problems. So let's get started. Our Solve and Share begins on page 137 of our Envisions Volume 1 workbook. Our Solve and Share tells us Caleb collects stickers. He has 4 more stickers than Zoe. Zoe has 5 stickers. How many stickers does Caleb have? Use objects, drawings, or an equation to show your thinking. So, they are both collecting stickers, so all we know so far is that Caleb collects 4 more stickers than Zoe, so we don't know how many stickers he has. It does tell us that Zoe has 5 stickers. So Zoe has 5 stickers. So let's see what we could figure out. So it says that we can use objects, drawings, or an equation to show our work. I think I'm going to use a drawing. So I know that Zoe has 5 stickers, so I'm going to draw Zoe's 5 stickers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put a Z next to it because I know these are Zoe stickers. It told us that Caleb has 4 more stickers than Zoe. Well, if Caleb has 4 more stickers, that means that he at least has 5 stickers like Zoe, because it says he has 4 more. So we are going to draw 4 more stickers. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are Caleb stickers. So, if Caleb has 4 more than Zoe, so Zoe has 5, and Caleb also has 5, and then 4 more. So we're going to count on from 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9. That would mean that Caleb would have 9 stickers total. So we were able to solve how many stickers Caleb has by drawing a picture of Zoe's stickers, so 5 stickers, and drawing 5 stickers for Caleb because it says that he had 4 more than Zoe. So we know Zoe has 5, that means Caleb had to have at least 5, and then we got 4 more stickers added. So we took 5 plus 4, and that gave us 9. Now let's watch our video for our math lesson.
You can write an equation to solve a word problem. Let's look at an example. Tanya reads 5 books. She reads 7 fewer books than Seth. How many books did Seth read? What do you know? Tanya read 5 books. Tanya has read 7 fewer books than Seth. Who has read fewer books, Seth or Tanya? Why? Tanya has read fewer because she has read 7 fewer than Seth. So who has read more books? Explain. Seth has read more books because Tanya has read 7 fewer books than Seth. That also means that Seth has read 7 more books than Tanya. What do you need to find out?
So if we know that Tanya has read 5 books, but still 7 fewer than Seth, do we need to find out how many books Tanya read, how many books Seth read, or how many books they've both read? We need to find out how many books Seth has read.
You need to find out how many books Seth read. How could you solve this problem? You can use counters. 5 counters for Tanya's books, 7 counters for the 7 more books Seth read. There are 12 counters in all. Seth read 7 more books than Tanya, and Tanya read 5 books. So you need to add 5 plus 7 to solve this problem. What equation can you write to solve this problem? You can write the equation 5 plus 7 equals 12. So how many books did Seth read? Seth read 12 books. Now you know how to write an equation to help solve a problem.
So our Convince Me section on page 138 says, Tanya reads 5 books. She read 7 fewer books than Seth. Could you find out how many books Seth read by drawing a picture? Explain. What do you think, class? Do you think that we could draw a picture to solve our problem? I think so. So here's what we could do. Let's see if we can make this picture together. So we know that Tanya reads 5 books, right? So we are going to draw 5 books. So Mrs. Collier's just going to draw some circles. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be the 5 books that Tanya reads. And it tells us that she read 7 fewer books than Seth. So that means that Seth read 7 more books than Tanya. So what we could do is draw her 5 books like we did and then count on. So add 7 more. So for Seth's books, I'm going to draw an open circle. So for Seth's books, I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, we knew that Tanya read 5 books and that Seth read 7 more. So let's add these up together. If we know our top row is 5 and our next row is 5, we can use our doubles fact and say, okay, well 5 plus 5 is 10, and add 2 more. So let me write that down. So if we know that this is equal to 10, so that is the same as saying 10 plus our 2 that are remaining. So we are going to say 10 plus 2. And what is 10 plus 2? 12. So we were able to draw a picture to show the amount of books that Tanya read. So I'm going to write a T. And then we know that she read 7 fewer than Seth, which also means that Seth read 7 more. So then we wrote 7 more circles to show Seth's, and then made 10 and added our 2 left over. So could we draw a picture to solve how many books Seth had? We just did. So we know, yes, we can. So on your Convince Me, you can either just write our equation that we came up with, or if you want to pause the video and copy our drawing that we did, you can also do that. Our guided practice says solve each problem, use counters, or draw a picture. Then write an equation. Our first problem says Tim writes 9 stories. He writes 3 fewer stories than Daisy. How many stories did Daisy write? So for problem number 1, they have already made our problem. So what we can do is make a quick 10 frame and show our work. Now, if you choose to use a different method to draw your picture, that is perfectly fine. But Mrs. Collier is going to show using a tens frame. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I am going to draw my 9 in my tens frame. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I need to add 3 more. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3. So I made 10 by using my tens frame. So if I know this is 10, then I need to add the 2 more down here. So I would count on. So I have 10, 11, 12. Well, 10 plus 2 is the same as saying I take my 9 red counters and my 3 yellow counters, and I also get 12. So we can show our work drawing a picture by drawing a tens frame. Now on our next problem, if Sherry reads 6 comic books and Dally reads 5 more comic books than Sherry, how many comic books did Dally read? Well, let's set up our problem. We know that Sherry reads 6 comic books because it told us right here. We know we are adding because it says Dally reads 5 more. So we need to find out what 6 plus 5 is. I'm going to draw another tens frame at the bottom. So make a rectangle, draw a line, and count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So I am going to fill it in using my pen. I'm going to fill in 6 spaces in my tens frame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I need to fill in 5 more spaces. So I'm going to fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I added together 6 red counters and 5 yellow counters in a tens frame. So after I have made 10, I just need to count the 1 more. So what is 10 plus 1? 10 plus 1 is 11. Which is the same as saying 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. So now for your independent practice on page 139, it wants you to solve the problems with objects, drawings, or an equation. Show your work. So our first problem, number 3, says Tracy buys 10 buttons on Monday. She buys more buttons on Tuesday. Now she has 19 buttons. How many buttons did Tracy buy on Tuesday? So it said that we can solve our problems using objects like counters, drawings, or an equation. So Mrs. Collier will do number 3 with you guys and show you a few different ways that you could solve it. So let's go back and look at our problem. So Tracy buys 10 buttons on Monday. She buys more buttons on Tuesday. We don't know how many yet. But now she has 19 buttons. So we need to know how many more buttons did she buy. So I'm going to show with a drawing, for example. So if I show with a drawing, I could draw 10 buttons. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I know she gets some more buttons, and now she has 19. So I could count on from 10. So I could say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So to count on from 10 to 19, I had to add 9 more buttons. So I could find out that Tracy bought 9 more buttons on Tuesday by drawing, or I could write an equation also and say, okay, I know she bought 10 buttons, she bought some more, and now she has 19 buttons. So I could also write my equation and say 10 plus what number equals 19? And then I could write 9. So for number 3, 4, and 5, it wants you to solve either by writing an equation, if you have counters at home to use, or if you want to draw. But it wants you to solve all of your problems using one of those ways. So since these are pretty big word problems, Mrs. Collier is going to read the word problem for you. Then I want you to pause the video to show your work. So number 4 says Jen has 9 coins. Jen has 6 fewer coins than Owen. How many coins does Owen have? Now remember, if it's telling us that Jen has 6 fewer coins than Owen, that is also telling us that Owen has 6 more coins than Jen. So you can draw a picture or write an equation or even use counters if you have them to solve this problem. Then you will write your answer in the blank. So now is the time to pause the video so that you can work on number 4. And when you press play, we'll begin talking about problem number 5. Number 5 says 14 cans are on the table. 5 cans are big and the rest are small. How many small cans are on the table? So if we have 14 cans on the table, 5 of those cans are big and the rest are small. How many small cans are on the table? For number 5, I would recommend setting up an equation. We know that there are 14 cans total. So now we just need to find out what 2 add-ins are we adding together. We know that 5 of the cans are big cans. So now we need to find out 5 plus what number equals 14. So you could use an equation, and then if you're not sure how to find this number, you can draw a picture again. You can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and count on until you get to 14. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So now you can count the number of blue dots we created to count on from 5 to get to 14. You will write the number in the blank and then for the number of small cans. For the last page of our lesson, page 140, it tells us to solve each problem below. Now these are all word problems, so Mrs. Collier is going to be reading all of your problems for you. But you will need to pause the video in order to work on them. Number 6 says Leland cuts out 12 flowers total. So I am just going to write 12 here for you so that we remember 12 is our total. Now it says how many can he color red and how many can he color yellow? Draw a picture and write an equation to help solve the problem. So it does not say how many he colors red or how many he colors yellow. It just tells us that he has 12 flowers total. So you get to decide 2 numbers to add together that equal 12. So the 2 add-ins that you put in these blanks will also need to go in these blanks below. If you would like to draw a picture of flowers to help you count, you may. But if you fill in your equation and you find 2 add-ins to add together to get 12, then that would be okay too. Now on problem number 7, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So do you remember how we said we are working with word problems? Well, it wants us to rewrite a word problem. So our word problem first says, Nicole scored 8 goals this season. She scored 9 fewer goals than Julian. How many goals did Julian score? It wants us to write this problem using the word more. So below, it has began writing our word problem. But it changes one of our phrases. Do you remember in our lesson so far how we've talked about when it says 9 fewer or 4 fewer? That just means that the other person scored 9 more or 4 more than the person. So we are just changing one of our words. We want to change the word fewer and replace it with more. Because when we are saying she scored 9 fewer goals, that just means that Julian scored more. How many more goals did Julian score than Nicole? 9. So we are going to say Nicole scored 8 goals this season. Julian scored 9 more than Nicole. How many goals did Julian score? Because we are rewriting this problem that we saw at the top, except we are now using the word more. So you just need to write what Mrs. Collier typed on the screen for number 7. And number 8 says, Dan drinks 6 more glasses of water than Becky. Becky drinks 5 glasses of water. How many glasses of water? So if Dan drinks 6 more than Becky, and Becky drank 5 glasses, which of the answer choices represents our story problem best? Fill in the circle, and then you are all done with your math for today.